This is Leisha Holmes, and I'm your host on the Recruiters Recruitment podcast. And I am so excited to introduce to our global community today somebody that I've been connected to for quite a long time, actually. And I reckon that if you've been on LinkedIn at any point in 2022, at least, you'll have seen some of his viral content. This is Rich Gibbard, and he is the founder of Recbound. Welcome to you today, Rich. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much indeed. How was that for an intro?
It was very posh. You start like off air. You're talking about like going out in Ramsbottom, drinking wine with Vimto in it, and things like that. Whereas then all of a sudden you hit record, and it's hello, it's Leisha here from South Lancashire. How are you?
From Upper Ramsbottom. Now, anyone that actually knows me knows that Rich is lying because, of course, everyone knows I'm sober. So,
yes, exactly, very true.
Cheeky Vimtos were definitely one of my favourite tipples, I have to tell you, in my 20s. That's how classy a chick I was. Cheeky Vimto, was it port and lemonade? Yummy, yummy. Now, there might be some people that potentially don't know who you are yet. So give us a little overview as to who you are, what Recbound is, and how we came to know each other.
Yeah, so essentially, after probably about 10 years or so in recruitment, I set up a marketing agency that just helps recruiters to market, basically. I went into it thinking, Joe, what, we're going to create loads of content, videos, blogs, and we do, don't get me wrong, we do graphic design, all that kind of stuff. But generally, it's just all in everything that a recruiter will need from a marketing department. That's what we do. And I think we probably knew each other through Mark Nealon. I think back in a long time ago, I'd have used you as a rec to rec. And so on, and it's just gone from there, really. So and your clients are my clients as well, so I think that's how.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the thing that a lot of my listeners who are joining us, certainly from outside the UK, won't really necessarily know what I do for a living. They think I might just be the host all day, every day, which if I could be, I would, because this is like my dream job, because I failed my A-levels and never got to be a broadcaster. So now I'm kind of doing it vicariously through the podcast. But I actually recruit recruiters. So that's how Rich and I first knew each other. I must have walked past you and seen you when I came into Didsbury and that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yes.
So, well, thank you for joining us today. And I think one of the main reasons I wanted to bring you onto the podcast, apart from the fact that I think, you have got a lot of value because we've got a similar audience, is that you are certainly defining yourself as possibly one of the funniest people on LinkedIn. Well, certainly for me. And you've had some significant sort of content that has gone pretty viral, really. So I think that generally speaking, recruiters are people that might take themselves a little bit seriously. So how do you see humour being a potential, I guess, positive thing that recruiters could use to engage with their content more?
Look, it just depends on how you want to come across. I think for me, and I see your post, and I'm going to drag you into it with it as well. So, yeah, when you're positioning yourself within your market, you want to decide what type of people that you want to do business with. And now, for me, the best person that I will do business with is probably going to be late 20s to probably early 50s, a child that has grown up, as in they're just incredibly immature, happy to talk about anything. There's no hold barred on any topic of conversation, and they don't take themselves too seriously. And so that's probably my target market. But I'm very aware is that some people are very straight-laced, and straight-laced people attract themselves to straight-laced people. Humour attracts themselves to humour, and my opinion is like humour is a good way to open up the doors, and if you don't like what I post or you don't like my humour, then you kind of qualify yourself out anyway. But humour is good. Humour, like people, I think nowadays, certainly in recruitment, when it comes to networking, everybody wants that personal relationship, and humour is a huge part of that. So.
Do you know, and it's really interesting because, I've had other people on the podcast who are from, similar things to yourself, maybe doing marketing, doing business coaching, that kind of thing. I've never talked about humour before. And we talked off air, didn't we? I just think it's the thing that makes us human. For me, what you've just said there really resonates. And I think I'm more of a chameleon. I'm happy to talk to people maybe who haven't got a similar sense of humour, but does it mean I like them? Probably not. Am I more likely to do business with somebody that I like? Of course I am. And that's both candidate and client. And I just think maybe as you get older, I don't know, but we can take ourselves seriously in terms of the role that we actually do. But in terms of me taking myself seriously, no, I'm the first person to take the piss out of myself.
Absolutely, and I'll be second if that's all right. It's you can't. Well, it just depends on how you want to come across, and if you want to take the piss out of yourself, then absolutely cool. You'll attract others who are probably either thinking the same thing, do the same thing, and they're the kind of people you end up doing business with. You do business with people who are like you, and which is totally cool. So however you want to come across works, but generally most people want to do business with funny, nice, engaging people as opposed to boring, stiff upper lip people, in my opinion.
Was it contrived, Rich? Was it contrived to use humour through your content?
No, I just enjoy humour. I'm similar, exactly the same with yourself. I think life's too short, in my opinion, to you get all these mindset coaches and people who tell you, the people who like love rags to riches stories, and I'm like, well, you're not from the rag, you're not rags, are you? So you can't pretend that you are a piece of shit from nothing because you had a good education and you were loved by your parents.
Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
Not really
yeah.
the rags, are you?
Yeah. Oh my God! Somebody told me that I wasn't going to do very well in this industry, but you forgot that the other 9 million people that said that you would do very well in this industry, but you just focus on that, you knobhead. But anyway, and so I've tried so many times, just like probably yourself, is you try and lean on like adversities that you overcome, but ultimately it's bollocks. If you've not got any adversities that you overcome, you just go on, you play to your strengths, and I feel as if humour can be one of my strengths, so I just play on that.
Well, and honestly, I think that there are so many people listening to this right across the world now who will be thinking, how can I use humour? Well, no, you've got this message wrong. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that you are unique to yourself. You are unique to your own mindset and what you find funny, and you are going to be possibly divisive in what you share. We're not talking about things that are necessarily offensive, just things that you do find funny. That it's as simple as that. Yeah. Be self-deprecating with it. I know we were talking off camera about the fact that I've started using TikTok mainly to spite my teenage daughters because they told me they forbid me from going on there. So now I'm just like, if you can pout, I can do pouty things, but actually I'm using it to my advantage. And I don't actually care what people think about me on there. And sometimes I'm trying to be funny and maybe it's not that funny. Other times I'm not trying to be funny and I think it might be a bit funny. But you've hit a really good point there, that it's going to attract people that I want to attract through what I'm sharing.
There'll be others, I can assure you, there are millions of others that are like you who are, again, late 30s, early 50s, their kids are on TikTok and you want to get... 50s, I'm being polite. I know how old you are. I keep saying early 30s. We're going to go down that road. Yeah.
Let's stick with it's wrong. He's lying again.
Yeah. Right. Late 20s. Your kids are on TikTok and you want to get involved as well. And it's the same, there's so many school mums that will be out doing exactly the same and wanting to get involved, but they just probably might not know what to talk about. So, or just, most people just talk shit. So, or do a dance. I've not seen you do a dance. You need to do a dance, I think.
I haven't done the dance yet. I don't think I have actually. I have to pay her. You realise that? I'll have to pay my daughter to show me what to do. I don't even know how to click that button on TikTok. She's only showing me how to share photos and actual video, but I don't know how to do the whole editing thing, but I think it's brilliant. So do you you obviously have your client base, which some of whom we will share similar clients. Are there any things that you advise them not to do? So do you have any things that potentially you think turn you off as the marketing expert, or is it specific?
Like it's each to their own. I like people who force themselves to do something that they're not. So I'll use this, and I'm being very, I don't know how to say this without coming across as insincere. It's Mental Health Week this week, and I fully respect Mental Health Week, and I fully respect everybody who is doing that. What I don't agree with, and you said your question was, what don't you think clients should be doing? Is I don't think people should be doing it just for the sake of doing Mental Health Week, or of just doing it because marketing tells me to. And that's the kind of thing where I think people should avoid it, is that, if you don't believe in it, or if you don't want to do it, cool, you're not going to get judged. Nobody's going to turn around to me and say, oh my God, you didn't post anything about Pride Week. Does that mean that you're homophobic? Well, no, not really. It's just,
Right.
Yeah, just I didn't post anything about it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the thing. It's just have the courage to post what you're comfortable posting,
Yes.
and that is a good start. Don't force yourself to do something that society feels like you should be doing, because it's ultimately it's bollocks. There's enough noise already.
I agree with you totally. I mean, virtue signaling is what actually should be one of my pet peeves. You know, I just can't bear it. It's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing something for Women's International Day, but when there's 10 men in the office and no women? You know, like, where's your diversity? No, I agree with you totally. And I think, you know, the key pinnacle for me of good marketing within our sector specifically, which obviously is what we're talking about, is being genuine to what you do. So for me, if you were talking about, you know, doing TikToks, but you work in actuarial recruitment, and those people are not into videos, they're not really using LinkedIn, they're a little bit more, you know, traditional in how they go about doing things, you're just going to fall on deaf ears. You know, think about your audience. I do think that's a really important message that we're saying here, that, you know, you can use humour, you can, you know, use, I guess, comedy to try and attract people, but it's not going to appeal to absolutely everybody. I've always said I'm a bit Marmite anyway, so maybe that's what people should be more Marmite. You have
to have a healthy, like generally as a rule of thumb, certainly for recruiters, you need to be posting probably, if this is talking about posts, not commenting likes, you need to do at least one, maybe two, like, hey, I've got this job, do you want it? Type post, because you got to show your wares, you got to show your products, what you're working with. Everything else is all around, right, how can I get more people to see those posts? Like if you were to post, all you would post about is like, I've got this job, would you like to know about it? It gets boring and nobody's interested. If all you did was just humor posts and just taking the piss out of your own life, then people don't take yourself very seriously. So you got to do it, and it's a healthy mix, and there's no set formula.
That's really important. So you obviously made the move from recruitment. So you had a very successful career, and I know you did. You're very successful, and you've moved into, you know, doing this service and providing it to the recruitment industry. So do you think that the sector you joined all those years ago means that sales is now dead? Do we need to still be picking up the phone and doing business development?
Oh, of course you do. You backed me into a corner with that one.
Do you cold call? Do you pick up?
No. It depends on what type of company you are, and so you'll have a lot of people listen to this who are like, you know, independents or kind of small businesses where a lot of their businesses come from networking and referrals. I think the vast majority of your time and effort, your best clients, this is me guessing here, but I bet you your best clients came from networking and referrals. It's like, you should use Leisha because she's amazing, she placed me, or Leisha did an amazing job filling this vacancy. And like, so networking referrals for recruiters should be the number one source. But and then after that, cold calling doesn't mean that you don't get any activity from it. It should just supplement all of your other methods. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
been reading my investments, haven't you, Rich? Just reading all those.
Absolutely. I knew there's a reason I shouldn't. I've been hovering outside that house of yours, and I've probably it's finally come to some good use.
In Upper Ramsbottom. So no, I agree with you totally, and I think it's really important that, you know, I didn't actually explain this to you off camera, I normally do to my guests, and I apologise for that our demographic, in terms of feedback, because obviously we can see where everybody's listening, which is now about 52% in the UK, and the rest of it's America, Canada, Australia. We get a lot of people over in Asia. It's amazing. But in terms of actual feedback of who listens, a lot of recruitment leaders, which is your audience, my audience, in terms of decision makers, but actually we get a lot of people who are starting out on their recruitment journey, and of course they're coming into an industry where it's all about marketing yourself on LinkedIn. But I think if we think about forecasting what's going to potentially happen in the economy, hold on tight, guys, possibly a recession coming, you're going to need to build those relationships as well. And I think it's really important listening to a marketing specialist say you need to be doing all of it. You need to still be picking up the phone and having conversations with people, not just sharing content.
One thing that I completely overlooked when I started off recruiting, and I think it's partly the market that we're in, because when you're 21 years old and you're trying to place candidates who are earning 200, 300 grand, you do get that imposter syndrome. You're selling somebody who's very successful how to run their life. But one thing I did overlook, which recruiters should do more of, is now that COVID doesn't exist anymore, it's gone, nobody cares about it, it's just a huge inconvenience, but more face-to-face, take people out, do golf days, do meetups, take people out to buffets, restaurants, Crystal Maze, you name it, you do it, you just take them out, because even if you can't call them up, relationships are built by having a conversation with somebody, not by constantly liking somebody's posts. And so find a way to speak to people.
Yeah, if you keep liking the same people's posts, people accuse you of being in a pod.
Yeah, or weird, or a stalker. So it's a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely stuck. No, I totally agree with you. And I think if you can, because obviously a lot of people don't do regional recruitment, they might do something internationally, but if it's feasible, I do actually also think that that's right, because you're creating a long-lasting relationship then. So brilliant advice, as I thought you would be. And when are we seeing you on TikTok? Because we know that you like to share content. So have we got a channel that we should be looking out for?
Do you know what? Recbound do have a TikTok page. We do. There's some stuff that goes on there. So as a Cam who does a lot of our social media in the office, he loves the camera, absolutely loves it. Is a very, very natural person when it comes to recording TikToks. We're just building up some content, and then this is the thing with TikTok, is you make the content on TikTok, you download it and then share it on LinkedIn. Absolutely. So there's stuff knocking around, but
likes at all on TikTok. I just get the odd person going, I like this, and I'm like, who are you? But it's content creation. We'll have to do a duet then.
Oh right, okay, yeah, okay. So if you make something that, do you know how your daughter will know how to something to where you can duet this at the bottom, and then
you and me, Rich, we'll do a little dance together. I don't know.
Whoa! I didn't say about dancing. I'll duet something, but not dance. You can't. I'm 6'4". Dancing is not an option.
No, I'm 5'3". It'll be brilliant. It'll be dead funny. Little and laugh. I think everyone always thinks I'm about 6 foot tall because I'm so blooming loud. But when they meet me in reality, they're like, "Oh, you're really little." I knew this would be fun. But thank you so much. And on behalf of people that are following you do share some fantastic content. So thank you for brightening.
I'll get more out. We had a good session today in terms of content planning. Like yourself with Key, your business, some businesses are built on the individual, as is Recbound, is probably built around me. I'm going to get a shed load more out to try and keep everybody entertained. And I must admit, it is the most value. We do give a hell of a lot of value to a lot of recruiters, and it doesn't involve any social media. There's a client that we work with who's probably billed about, over the last 3 months, probably about 200 grand. Wow. And none of that is through online. It's just all email campaigns, just running emails. And so I'm like, well, obviously the podcast is more geared towards online presence and humour and things like that. There's a lot more that marketing can do that doesn't just involve personal brand. There's other areas that marketing should be helping you with.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I think that given our audience is recruitment leaders, that's probably given them an awful lot to think about. There's so much available for people to be able to enhance and ensure that they're locking out their competition. Certainly if more challenging times are ahead, definitely a well-timed episode, that's for sure. Thank you so much for joining us, Rich. It's been an absolute delight, as I knew it would be. Thank you for being on the Recruiters Recruitment Podcast.
Thank you.